The drivers are lined up on the grid now, preparing themselves for the start. The red lights are beginning to come on. And they're off! They fly off the grid towards turn 1. Excellent! He's absolutely stormed past. That's taken him past Pedro Diniz. Lap 2. He's managed to get past Irvine.
He knows what he's got to do, and he's doing it.
He's swarming about all over his gearbox. Remarkable! And he goes through. Let's see how they stand now. The race leader, Heinz Harald Frentzen. Second, Williams number 1. Third, Gerhard Berger. Fourth, Michael Schumacher. In 5th position, Giancarlo Fisichella. In 6th, Jean Alesi. Let's see how his times compare. He's actually up on the leader's time at split 2. That's past Coulthard. We're into the 3rd lap of the race. That lap will certainly help him catch the car in front. He's overtaken Häkkinen. Let's see how his times compare. He was actually going faster than the race leader over the first section of the course. He's coming up from behind now. Now, what about the drivers in the lower positions? In 7th place, Ralf Schumacher. 8th, Rubens Barricello. 9th, Johnny Herbert. Sensational! He's passed Ralf Schumacher. That was actually a better first split than the current leader. He's definitely gaining. car in front. Let's see how they stand now. The race leader, Harold Frenson. Of course, the reward for driving like this should be vital points for the driver and the team. He was actually going faster than the race leader over the first section of the course. He's losing ground. We're coming up to a third of the way through the race now. He's closing the gap in front. Incredible! He's moved up to 5th place. He was actually going faster than the race leader over the first section of the course. There's only a small gap between them now. The car in front will really be feeling the pressure. He's closing the gap in front. There must be an accident. The yellow flags are out.
At these kind of speeds, it's almost impossible to see a problem ahead on the track. So these flags give you the advance warning you need.
They're off again. Green flags out round the circuit. He's swarming about all over his gearbox. Unbelievable! He takes 4th. He's actually up on the leader's time at split 2. Race order. Harold Frenson. Williams number 1. Gerhard Berger. Rubens Barricello. His lap time is quicker than the car he's chasing. He's definitely gaining. He's definitely gaining.
He really is acquitting himself exceptionally well, despite his lack of experience.
He's closing the gap in front. over the place trying to get past. The gap is growing. We're at about half the race distance now. Exceptional! That lap will certainly help him catch the car in front. That's one in third place. Race order. Heights Harold Frenson. Williams number 1. Rubens Barricello. Gerhard Berger. He's coming up from behind now. New safety rules for the design of the cars this year have meant that the teams have had to include a deformable structure behind the gearbox to protect the driver in the event of rear impact. Ferrari did this last year and they've already overcome most of the problems, like excessive vibration, which can crack the rear wing. He's really charging now. He's closing the gap. He's losing ground. The leader is actually lapping slower than this man. He's coming up from behind now. He's losing ground. We're into the last third of the race. He's closing the gap in front. Race order. Heights Harold Frenson. Williams number 1. Rubens Barricello. Gerhard Berger. And the gap is closing. He's actually faster than the race leader at split 2.
One unique feature of the Stewart car design is the high side pods on the car and the large turning vanes, which should reduce the amount of debris that is sucked off the track into the radiator field during the normal course of a race. This sort of accumulation can actually cause a drop-off between 10 and 20% in the radiator's efficiency.
Brilliant! His lap time is quicker than the car he's chasing. He's definitely gaining. He's dropping back a bit. He's closing the gap in front. He was actually going faster than the race leader over the first section of the course. That's up into second. He never ever gives up. The gap is growing. Race order. Heights Harold Frenson. Rubens Barricello. Williams number 1. Gerhard Berger. His lap time is quicker than the car he's chasing. Sensational! He's swarming about all over his gearbox. The gap is increasing. He's closing the gap in front. He's closing the gap. The gap is closing. There are only 3 laps left in this race now. His lap time is quicker than the car he's chasing. Up into first position. Race order: Rubens Barricello, Heitz Harold Frenson, Williams number 1, Gerhard Berger. We're into the second to last lap.
What was that? Are you all right?
And it's the last lap of the race. The Stewart Grand Prix team is succeeding brilliantly in their first season of Formula One. 3 times world champion Jackie Stewart is one of the great ambassadors of the sport, one of the greatest drivers of the late 60s and early 70s, and involved in so many aspects of motor racing in the years since, especially safety. The team have clinched an exclusive contract with Ford for the use of its V10 engine, and that'll surely bring the success they deserve. What a marvellous race! What a great win!